There are a lot of great UFC contenders that we all acknowledge and we all know and we all love. Whether you like their personality, their fighting style, how they finish their fights, how they conduct themselves, it doesn't matter. Okay, we all know these fighters. But then there's fighters who are the complete opposite, who have no personality, they don't try to sell their fights, they don't have exciting fight styles, they don't finish fights, and whatever you want to say about them, it doesn't matter. So I want to highlight some of those fighters who I think would just be a disaster if they were to make it to the top of the sport and get that UFC belt wrapped around them. And I know this video is going to seem a bit harsh if your favorite fighters are in this video. I don't think any of them will be, though, guys. These are some pretty good picks, I think. Some pretty known and well-hated fighters that just are not exciting to watch, or they're just terrible on the mic and make themselves seem completely unlikable, aka Mario Bautista. Yeah, we're going to talk about him. Don't worry, we're going to get to him. So the first UFC fighter who I want to highlight and talk about, who I think would be a terrible UFC champion, the man who can get on any card, any main card he wants, the new golden boy of the UFC's middleweight division, Bo Nickal, the fucking inactive NPC himself. We got a lot to talk about with Bo Nickal, so listen. Where do I even begin? Have y'all seen this dude's podcast? We need to raise the prices of mics. Fuck this. I've never listened to his podcast for real, but I've seen clips, okay? I've seen what I need to see. And this guy is just an idiot. He just says the stupidest shit. I know he's joking a lot of the time, probably, and he's just rage baiting halfly. But this guy, I feel like he thinks he could genuinely beat a chimpanzee in combat. He said that. That is just a quote. He thinks he can beat a fully grown chimpanzee, a monkey. This dude would get his fucking nose ripped off in 2 seconds. But he knows that. That's probably a joke, okay? That's not what I'm mad about. But then he goes and says, yeah, because of my wrestling background, I sub Khamzat in a round. You know that's not true. He knows that's not true. We all know that's not true. We know that wrestling does not American wrestling does not translate to MMA like that. It only does if you can actually mix it all in and be good at everything and be well-rounded. And Bo Nickal, he's pretty good, okay? I'm not going to call him bad. I'm not going to sit here and call him bad, a bad prospect. He's every single win he has is a finish. He's undefeated. He's on a good run in the UFC. Not that he's faced that good of competition, but he is finishing people, and we can't knock him for that. But this dude, if he were to get the belt, you just know he's sitting out for like 9 months once he gets the belt. And he's like, oh, I need vacation, guys. My life is so hard. I need to chill. And I do think he's one performance away from everyone clowning him and calling him a boring fighter. Because, yes, he did sub Cody Bumdage, okay? Cody Bumdage, he subbed him. Took a little long. Even he was disappointed in himself. So, respect to him for actually realizing he should have got this bum out of here way faster than that. But I feel like he turns into a boring fighter the second he doesn't finish someone. The second he just controls someone for 3 rounds, the fans turn on him. They turn on him. And the UFC backing him like they are, it's not a good idea. The UFC putting him on main cards. We're already hating on this guy being on main cards. Everybody, we all hate it. He ruined UFC 300. Okay, he didn't, but he made that card a lot weaker than it should have been. There should have been a way better fight than him versus Cody Bumdage, okay? So yeah, in conclusion, his fighting style is boring if he doesn't get the sub. Kind of similar to Khamzat. Let's not talk about him. He ain't on this list. But yeah, he's boring if he doesn't get the sub. His striking's all right. I mean, he finished Val Woodburn. I don't think that's the best finish. That guy's gone, cut from the UFC already. So not the best aging win. But yeah, I just think this guy would be a horrible champion. He would not be good for the division. And I know a lot of people like to say he's selling pay-per-views because all the old head wrestling unks are buying pay-per-views to watch him. No, they're not. They like wrestling. They like fucking football. They sit there on their Sunday. I don't even know when football is. I don't watch football, guys. They sit there and watch football on weekends. They don't watch MMA, okay? They just don't. Anyways, moving on. Next, we have a fighter who's fighting very soon on UFC 310 in a couple months. Movsar Evloev, on the verge of a title shot, possibly, if he gets past Aljamain. I do think he could just get a title shot off this win. He'll probably have to fight one more time, though. I could see that. Especially with how fucking jam-packed the division is right now. Everyone wants Diego Lopez to get a title shot. Volk needs his instant rematch. Max could beat Ilya, and then, I don't know, dude. There's just so much. It's too crowded at 145 at the top. There's too many good guys who are deserving. So I do think he'll probably need another win after Aljamain. But I think he's going to get past Aljamain pretty easily. And this dude would kill the division. I imagine him getting the belt wrapped around him, and I just cry. I cringe. I cower into a corner, and I wish I never started watching the sport. Because what the fuck, guys? We can't let that happen. He's going to get on the fucking mic and be like, hey, guys, we need the age of consent lowered, brother. This is way too high. Me and my friend Sneeko, we need it lowered, okay? Me and my Muslim brother, we need it lower. That's what he's going to say. Him and that's trying to fucking marry a 17-year-old girl with Sneeko. I'm sorry. He's going to say that. In all seriousness, I do think his fight style is a bit overhated. He looked really good against Arnold Allen. He rocked Arnold Allen a few times, I feel like. His striking's underrated. And his grappling, his wrestling is super dominant. His takedowns are beautiful. I love it. I love watching him fight, low-key, guys. I do. But it doesn't change the fact that as champion, much more is expected of you. You have to sell the sport. You have to carry the division on your back and represent the division's, well, best interest. I don't know. And this guy has proven that he cannot get finishes, he cannot get the crowd on his side, and he cannot sell fights. Now, I do think this Alja fight has actually been hyped up very well, but that trash talk came from Aljamain starting it. Aljamain accused this guy of being on roids, which he probably is, and then this guy came back and accused him of being on roids, and I don't know, it wasn't that good. Twitter beef is just getting old. I'm going to be real. These fighters need to get, like, we need to see in real life interactions, okay? I want to see altercations like fucking Sean and Dreykus in the crowd. That shit needs to start happening again. That was so funny. Yeah, guys, I just think he'd kill the fucking division like all these fighters would. They're going to kill their divisions. We cannot let them be champ. But I do think all fighters and all contenders should be treated equally. So if he earns his title shot, you got to give it to him. But Ilya, Max, Volk, whoever is at the top of this division when he gets his title shot, if he gets it, please stop him. We cannot let him prevail. Next, I'm going to talk about probably someone I shouldn't even put on the list because it's just a bit goofy at this point. We all know he'd be a terrible champion, and we all hate him at this point. Colby Chaos Covington, the guy who's had 3 title shots, 3 failed title shots already. Yeah, he's not getting another one, so I don't think we have to worry about him becoming champion. But you never know. I could see him getting one good win and getting a title shot. You don't know these days. For some reason, Dana has changed his mind about Colby because they used to fucking hate each other. And now it seems like he does Colby favors every year. I don't know what's going on with that. But fuck, man. In his last Leon fight, he was the most boring fighter of all time. Had negative testosterone. He couldn't do anything against the plotty, negative aura Leon. And yeah, we all know this guy's going to do the same thing Bo Nickal would do. He'd sit out 9 months to a year as soon as he got the belt and go on a press tour. He'd go with Trump, give the belt to Trump, fucking party, be inactive, do it. I mean, I don't know if Colby really parties, but he'd be inactive and not give the fans what they want. An active, reigning champion who actually feels like a champion. The days are gone. Usman and Izzy, we should have appreciated them more while they were here because two of the most active champions of all time, putting on, I mean, not the most exciting fights, but at least they were active, right? We got to have something. You got to be active or exciting or good trash talking. You got to have something. And Colby just has nothing at this point because his trash talk is cringe. It's just too much now. He does too much. He used to be really he used to get under people's skin with the little subtle remarks, the petty, stupid remarks, the stupid nicknames. Now he's doing everything he can to get them emotional, calling out Leon's dead dad. Like, come on, it's just getting ugly at this point. And yeah, I can just see this guy declining opponents, looking for the easiest fights that are going to sell the most pay-per-views, the least amount of risk. Because after all these years of failed title shots, dude, if he had actually beat Leon, I could just see this guy denying Belal the title shot. Not that the UFC would have let that happen. I think Belal would have got it anyway, but he would have tried everything in his power not to fight Belal. He would have tried to fight fucking Burns, or I don't even know. He would just try to fight the most easiest, highest name value, and that's not what you should do as a champion. He'd be like, yeah, I think Wonderboy actually deserves a title shot, guys. I think he does. But I don't need to talk about him anymore. Everyone already looks down on this guy and hates him. I used to like Colby. I made a whole video on his downfall. Just, it's sad. Okay, moving on to everybody's favorite fighter, the guy who's receiving endless amounts of love and wholesomeness by the community, Mario Bautista. And in all seriousness, his fucking embarrassing attempt to turn heel against one of the most beloved fighters of all time. What were you thinking, bro? Come on, what did you expect? Give this motherfucker the loser of Rob Font and Kyler Phillips. Make him fight the loser, aka Rob Font, because Kyler Phillips ain't losing, all right? Cannot afford to lose. But yeah, feed him down the rankings before he's even in talks of a title shot, even in a discussion. I don't care. This dude committed a war crime, and he must pay for his sins. But yeah, I think we all acknowledge and realize how much we'd all want to kill ourselves if this guy got the belt. Has Merab style, except doesn't have the gas tank to back it up, so he's just a low output Merab style who can't get any finishes. Doesn't really damage people that often. I mean, he was landing somewhat on the feet against Aldo, but I think I was saying Aljo before. Aldo the GOAT himself. Just a dumb-ass way of trying to turn heel. Belittling the most beloved fighter of all time, possibly, in the UFC. Saying he should have just done better if he wanted to win that badly. Like, bro, you got out damaged and then claimed you should have won, obviously. I don't really think it was that big of a robbery. I know that sounds hypocritical. I kind of do agree with him. Aldo should have done more. Get off the fucking cage, Aldo. We all know you could have. You were just tired because it was at elevation. Yeah, let's keep making fighters fight at elevation. It's just such a good idea. The fights are so fun. It makes them all better, right, guys? Yeah, so much better for the sport. He's also just the most boring, bland, personality-less person I've ever listened to on the mic. He doesn't say anything. He just... Like, I get mad when fighters say, we're going to find out Saturday night, brother. Like, I get mad when Max and those people say that type of shit. Just the most boring NPC shit. But that's because at least they can back it up in the fight. You know, at least they're just focusing all their energy saying, screw the trash talk, screw the media. I'm just going to give them one sentence answers. Fuck them. I'm going to focus. I'm not going to get emotional. And I'm going to fucking put on a badass fight and gain the fans that way. But this guy don't do either. You got to do one, bro. You can't just be a shit fighter, boring, and shit on the mic. Like, come on. And you have no name value. You just, come on, bro. Terrible champion. Don't let him get to the top. Feed him to Poetan. Renato was right. Next, we have someone who I don't even want to put on the list, but I'm gonna. I don't even have a good reason. Mateusz Gamrot. This dude, bro, I just cannot see him being a champion. All he does at press conferences is fake his emotion, scream like an orc that he's going to kill his opponent, and then he'll be biting and squeezing for their ankles as hard and as fast as he can. I do think his fighting style, his fights end up being decently fun if the person can actually grapple. But if the other person is just a striker, this dude is going to take them down, smudge them into the fucking ground as hard as he can. And yeah, I think he would kill lightweight very fast if he was able to get that belt. But that's the thing. That's the thing with Islam at the top. We don't got to worry about these NPCs beating him because there's no chance, okay? He's going to reign forever. Gamrot the type of guy to get the belt once and retire without defending. Tell me he isn't. Tell me he wouldn't do something like that. He'd get the belt at like 35, 36, give a big orc scream in the fucking octagon, and be like, I am done. I am retiring. Like, he'd be done, I swear. He'd just want to retire on top and say he was the GOAT of the sport or some shit. I don't know what I'm saying. He wouldn't do that, hopefully. But I just think this guy would be a terrible champion. I don't want to see it, all right? I want to see him just work his way up the rankings, lose, work his way up the rankings, lose again and again, okay? That's what he's meant for. And a lot of fighters, that's all they're ever meant for in the UFC, and that's okay. Make your money And his fights aren't even that boring. I'm not even hating on him in that aspect. I just can't see this guy being champion. Can y'all? Come on. Next, we got to talk about a fighter who could be very close to getting a title shot. Probably the closest on this list. He's next after his next win, if he gets a win. Magomed Ankalaev. And yeah, what do I really need to say? I don't think I've ever heard this guy say a word. I don't know what his voice sounds like. He doesn't speak. He speaks in Braille. I don't know, guys. I know he's not an English speaker, but I haven't even heard this dude talk in Russian or whatever he speaks. I don't know what he says. Like, I don't know what he sounds like. I don't know what his personality is. I don't know a single trait about this guy. But at least he can fight, okay? You got to give him that. This dude is a striker. He's one of the most fun, most dominant strikers out of all the Dagestanis we've gotten. I don't even think he's Dagestani, but he looks like him, so I'm going to box him in with them. And yeah, if this guy were to knock out Alex Pereira, I actually think it would low-key send him into stardom because he'd become the ultimate heel, the ultimate villain, and it could work. But this dude is not going to do or say or try to sell his fights at all. He's just going to be like, yeah, I'm the champion. I'm going to win. I'm going to make my family proud. Like, come on, bro. I don't want that. I like Shama. Like, I like hearing... Dude, I'm so hypocritical. All fucking Pereira says is Shama, and we all glaze him, but I'm clowning on Ankalaev for not saying much. I don't care, all right? I don't know. His fighting style is not that good. Yeah, I just don't know, man. Can y'all really see this guy as a champ? I guess I can. I didn't really want to put him on the list, low-key. There's a few people I didn't want to put because it's a bit harsh to say, but this dude's just not going to be good for the sport. He's going to kill the division after it's one of the most hyped-up divisions with Pereira at the top. I can just see this dude knocking out Pereira and ruining our chances of a super fight at heavyweight. I can just see it, man. And I'm not trying to have that shit happen, all right? So, Pereira, end this man, send him back down the rankings, and he's already had a title shot. I don't know why they're acting like he deserves a title shot so bad already. He beat fucking Johnny Walker. Like, come on, bro. Even Yuri clowned him for that. Johnny Walker? Okay. Like, we don't care, bro. How about 2 more wins? How about another win after Rakic? I think that's what should happen. No. He deserves it if he beats Rakic, but hey, don't underestimate Rakic. Just because he was off the roster for a little bit because of injuries, he's back, right? Okay, lastly, I want to talk about kind of an honorable mention because, again, there's a few people on this list I didn't really want to include because it's harsh, but it's true. Khamzat Chimaev would be one of the worst fucking champions ever. And he really could be champion soon. I'm not one of those people who have completely ruled out Khamzat. He definitely has been fraud checked. I don't care if he's continuing to win. He's still been fraud checked by Usman somewhat. I mean, he did good in that fight. I thought he lost the fight. I'm going to be real. I thought he lost the second 2 rounds. But you guys know this guy's going to be a bad champion. You have to agree with me. You don't have a choice. You guys know this guy's going to be inactive. He's going to pull out of a title fight with the sniffles and ruin cards. He's going to fucking get injured every fucking couple months, get sick every couple months, not be able to be active. He's going to fight once a year, and he's going to miss weight. He's literally going to miss weight every time. He has to make championship weight if he becomes champion. He's going to miss weight. He's going to be inactive, and he's just going to scream nonsense. This dude's trash talk sucks. Against Burns, he made himself look like an idiot. I'm going to fuck you. What the fuck? No. But yeah, obviously, this dude would be a fun champion. It'd be fun to see what happens. His fighting style is insane. He tries to fucking kill you in the first 30 seconds. He stares you down like he's generally going to take your ass for himself. I don't know if that's too harsh for YouTube, but that's what he looks like. He was looking at Usman like he was trying to take his ass. All right, I've been watching too much Prison Break. I'm watching it for the first time, guys. It's fire. But I just don't know, man. I hope he doesn't become champ because I think he's going to be inactive and he's going to plague the divisions, slow him down. He's going to want to move up after. He's literally going to get the belt and be like, I'm going to 205. I'm going to sub Alex Pereira. Like, shut up. Get a few defenses, bro. You got Ilya in his interviews with Ariel. Yeah, I think after this first defense, I'm going to move up. Yeah, I think I can go to 155. Yeah. No. And if the UFC lets him, fuck the UFC. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. That's every fighter who I think would be terrible champions. Every contender, at least. Because there's obviously a lot of fighters, but contenders. The ones who are actually maybe on track to getting a title shot at least one day. Yeah, I just don't think they'd be good champions. And yeah, that's all I have to say about them. See you guys in the next one.